Are you a landlord and you want to rent to people on Section 8 and you want to figure out how much rent can I get with a Section 8 tenant? Well, there's kind of a lot to it. I actually have a whole course on this, but there's one of the features about it that I'm going to give you today in this video, and it's about the 2024 utility allowance. But first, you got to understand where I'm coming from with all this. I'm Monique Burns. I am a real estate broker in Detroit, Michigan. My husband and I are in the business of buying houses. We buy distressed properties, we renovate them, and then we sell them to investors from all over the country and all over the world. In 2015, we said, okay, when they buy the house, we'll manage it for you. But here's the problem. We think like owners because we have our own portfolio instead of like property managers. So a property manager loves it when there's a turnover because they can charge more money. A property manager loves it when there's maintenance because they can go out and send a contractor, and the contractor sees all kinds of ways to make money, and then the owner gets a big bill. At the end of 2020, we said, this is just not very profitable. We feel like we're volunteers doing a property management company. We sold the property management end of our business and we just stuck with flipping houses. And then we found out how miserable the owners are. And so I launched a course teaching people how to manage the property themselves, especially if they have Section 8. And the name of my course is Section 8 Rental Mastery. Manage it yourself, the Pat and Monique Method. And it just launched this week and it went fabulous. I have new students in my class. We're doing a weekly mastermind. They're loving the material. I have 9 hours of trainings in this, not to mention all the downloads. I'm really proud of it. Just saying, I'm really proud of it. So if you're interested in the course, there's going to be a link below. I have a free offer of how I do phone interviews with Section 8 tenants. If you want that, link below. If you want the 2024 utility allowance sheets, that's also here, link below. So let's just get into the utility allowance. Before you watch anymore, before we get into the utility allowance, please be kind and give me a like, a subscribe. Comments are really super helpful. It helps me know that you want more quality videos like this, and I'll keep putting them out every Saturday. If you look at the HUD FMR, so go ahead, whatever city you're in, Google HUD FMR. You're going to get these amazingly high rents and you're going to be so excited. And I think in different cities, it kind of pans out differently, but I'll tell you how it pans out here in Detroit. And from this information, you're going to figure out how it works in your city. And that's really what my course is about. I really go into, okay, this is how it works here because this is where all my experience is. Now go look in your city. The rents for 2024, where I am, Wayne County, Michigan, for a 2-bedroom, we're just going to talk about this one for example, is $1,291. Well, I had an applicant for one of my 2-bedroom houses. So HUD is federal and they give money to different states and different cities. And they say, here's money to supply Section 8 vouchers for people. So MSDHA, Michigan State Housing Development Authority, then hires contractors for them to issue the vouchers. So one of the contractors that services Detroit is CMA. And I qualified this tenant and she sent me her move packet. And this is the front page of it. And it has a breakdown in there of how much they will do for a 2-bedroom. And it's not the same as the HUD FMR. Each housing commission has their own policies. They will do for a 2-bedroom $1,394. But then there's this thing called a utility allowance. And every year they analyze it. It's public. You can go on the MSDHA website and look at it. And I thought, oh, I need a better understanding of this. Then I looked at it and I thought, I'd have to go to college to be, I don't even know what degree that would be to understand how they figure all this out. But they break down a whole bunch of things. And this is their breakdown. Look at that thing. I'll give you this. If you link below, I'll send this to you. It has things on here about heating, cooking, utilities, water, sewer, trash, like all these numbers. So I went through all these numbers and I said, okay, so for this tenant, the rent is $1,394, but that's the rent, but she has to also pay for her own utilities out of whatever money she's living on. We're not going to give her the whole utility allowance, which for a 2-bedroom comes to $249. CMA isn't giving her a check for $249. They're just saying with the money that she has, which is probably, I don't know, like child support, disability, who knows, whatever money she has, she doesn't have a job, whatever money she has, they're saying she has to have at least that much off her rent. So really the rent, if I calculated it right, and there's a lot of room for interpretation on that form, like what do they mean exactly? But if I calculated it right, her rent for a 2-bedroom is $1,145. That's how it works. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to nailing down exactly how much can I get out of this tenant. I have my tricks that I do. And of course, it's all in my course. But if you want the link to this utility allowance sheet, link below. Happy to help. And thank you so much for watching.